Hi everyone, this is Lara Hammock from the Marble Jar channel, and in today's video I will share my tips for successfully navigating a group project or a group paper. So you've been assigned a group project. Fun! Just kidding, I kind of hate them. It's not that I don't like other students, I do, and I feel like you can learn a lot from others if you share your work. But group projects are objectively terrible, and professors continue to insist that we participate in them and all earn the same grade, despite the fact that very rarely is everyone in the group doing the same amount of work. So right now I'm in graduate school for social work, but in my 20s I earned a degree in management information systems. The professors always insisted that group projects were a way to simulate how groups work in the business world. Since at the time I was working in the business world, in many groups, I had a pretty good sense of what that was like, and I really could not disagree more with their assessment. In the world of work, each person comes to a group with their own area of expertise. There's someone there from IT, someone's there from product, someone from marketing, legal, and so forth. Your role in the group is already defined by what your area of expertise is. In addition, there is a hierarchy in business, and someone is generally tasked with running the group. Not so in school group projects. No one has a specialty, everyone is equal, and there is no leader. You just have to work it all out. And inevitably, just like in the workplace, someone refuses to pull their weight. In a work environment, you can go to that person's boss and have them yanked from the project if they aren't getting their work done. What do you do in this situation for a group project for school? Well, someone has to do that person's work, but everyone gets the same grade. It is not at all like a workplace. No one ever does the same amount of work, and yet you are all graded as though you have. I hate group projects, but unfortunately they are a reality of college life, so the question becomes, how do you get through them successfully? So I have two general tips for you and then some concrete steps on how I tend to organize groups that I've been in. My first general tip is to have a leader. Okay, so I know this is kind of frowned upon. After all, everyone is supposed to be contributing equally, right? Ugh, no. Having no leader inevitably leads to dithering and chaotic decision making. I'm guessing since you are watching this video, you're probably a pretty good candidate for a group leader. So you should start taking charge immediately. So being a leader does not mean ordering people around and doing less work. In fact, as a leader, you will probably do a little more work. I know I usually do. Mostly it means organizing the overall project and assigning roles and deadlines quickly from the start so that you don't have to waste a lot of time. Your first task as group leader is to get everyone's contact information and start communicating in a way that people can respond to quickly. In my experience, this is usually text or email, and it is not through whatever web portal your school uses. In addition, the leader generally has an overall vision for the project. They're going to collect all the different pieces of work, and they will edit them into a reasonably uniform product. It's more work, but having a single leader will produce a better worked product. My second tip is to use collaborative software like Google Suite. So I don't know about your school, but mine still requires submissions in Microsoft Word documents that are supposed to be uploaded into the school portal. So this is a nightmare for group projects. Keeping track of everyone's individual pieces of work, documents, and different versions of those documents and edits is super annoying if you're working on something together. Even if you have to submit the final product in Word or PowerPoint, do all of your collaborative work together in Google Suite and then export it into the required format. Okay, so now I'm going to give you the steps that I use to manage group projects. These should work for most groups, regardless of whether you're doing a paper, a presentation, or a research study. Step 1, review the assignment. Since you are the self-designated group leader, it helps to approach the project as though it were yours to do independently right from the beginning. You need to review the assignment instructions and really understand what's being asked of your group. What is your final product? When is it due? What are the specifics that need to be included? Step 2, do some preliminary research. So once you have the basics of what's required, start doing some research. So this is just to give you some ideas for a topic, if you need to choose one as a group, and to get an idea of what kinds of information will go into your project. And as you are doing your research, step 3, share your references. So as you find articles and websites that will be useful to your group, put them all into a Google spreadsheet and share that spreadsheet with the entire group. Have everyone use this spreadsheet to record all of their reference material and their citations. So I have a video on using Google Sheets for citations if you are interested. Once you have created the spreadsheet and you have begun adding to it, you need to share that with your group members. Step 4, make an outline. So I am big on outlines, and they are never more important than when you are working with a group. Establishing an outline in advance gives some shape to your project, it helps to assign roles, and it ensures that your final product will be well organized. Again, I have a separate video on creating an outline for a paper, but this really should be a similar process for a presentation or for a research project. I would make the outline in Google Docs, and I would try to make it as detailed as possible. If there are ideas that you think they should be covered, make sure you include those as bullets in that section. If there are quotes that you found through your research, include those as sub-bullets or in parentheses as well. So that way, the whole group can benefit from the work that you have done. While you're creating the outline, give an idea of how long each section should be. 2 paragraphs, 1 page, etc. Share this outline with the group and ask for feedback before you meet for the first time. After this, it's time for step 5, coordinate with your group. So depending on the size of the project, the group, and how well you know each other, this is usually best done in a meeting or a call. Find a time for everyone to meet in person, over Zoom, or by phone. I usually send out an agenda as well, so maybe this seems like an annoying flex, but I generally want to make sure that we cover all the points that we need to, since getting lots of people together is difficult. So a sample agenda for this first meeting might look like this. So let's go through it quickly. Select topic. So if you need to select a topic, come prepared with some topics to choose from, and then ask if anyone else has additional ones that they are interested in. Then have a quick discussion and vote on the topic. Make sure you decide this in your very first meeting. Next, shared documents. So discuss all the shared documents that you're going to be using, including your reference/citation spreadsheet and the outline/document. It's nice to have links to these right in your agenda. Next up, outline. So discuss your initial outline with the group and ask if there are additional edits or changes. You should have already received some feedback on the outline and incorporated that already. Assign the writing or work. So after this, you are going to decide who is going to write each section based on how long each section is supposed to be. So make all of these assignments roughly equal. However, if there are some areas that you think will be difficult and you already have a sense of how they should be written, assign those sections to yourself. Let people choose to the extent possible, but make sure the work is roughly evenly distributed. Ask the group members write their sections directly into the outline document, which is already shared with the group so you can see the work that everyone's doing. Next, agree on instructions. So this is going to help you in the editing stage. If you are doing a presentation, agree on how wordy each of the bullets should be and how many bullets should be on a slide. You could easily have a situation where somebody uses 1-word bullets and somebody uses like 5-sentence bullets. Agree on how to refer to citations in the rough draft. I usually just put in numbers that refer back to the citation spreadsheet on the first draft. Agree not to use first person or passive voice, whatever the rules of your program seem to be. And finally, agree to deadlines. So I would start this process, this whole organization process, well in advance, and I would make the deadline for the first draft at least a week before the project is due. If you think you're going to need multiple drafts, then agree to the schedule for those as well. But give yourself plenty of time for step 6, editing. So group projects are difficult since everyone has a different writing style. It is challenging to make each section work with the whole, but you have to do the best that you can. I usually offer to do the editing, but if you have some folks in the group who are particularly good writers or editors, you don't have to take this job on. You also don't want to negate each person's contribution, so don't edit so much that it ends up sounding like your work. Make sure the transitions are reasonably smooth and that people have hit all of the correct points. If they haven't, send it back out to them and tell them to rewrite it or add to it. So this is why you gave yourself plenty of time. If you don't do this, you are going to end up doing all the reworking and the rewriting yourself. So this is a big job, but if you have reasonably good group members and you've agreed upon pretty good instructions, it should make your job easier. While you are doing this, the other group members should be step 7, formatting their citations. Make sure you do not get stuck with this job. Each person needs to ensure that the references that they have used in their section have the right style and are cited properly. I usually have them do all of this in the citation spreadsheet, and then I just cut and paste it all into the reference section, remembering to add italics at the end. But this is a good thing for everyone to be doing while you're editing. Finally, you're going to want to send out the finished group project for group review, which is step 8. Everyone should be able to give some feedback on the final product that you will be submitting. Give yourself some time to incorporate and agree upon the feedback and to ensure that you are using whatever writing style requirements are used by your program. And submit. One last point, what happens if a group member isn't pulling his or her weight? So this is one of the reasons that I like early deadlines for drafts. Inevitably, you will have at least one person who doesn't get their work done or doesn't adhere to deadlines. What do? What if they don't respond to communication, they miss group meetings, they fail to submit their draft, or they submit something that doesn't meet the agreed upon criteria? Tell the professor. I know, it feels like tattling, but this is really your only recourse. Let the professor know that you have a problem early on in the process. Odds are the professor won't do anything about it, but you can then keep them updated on how things are proceeding. And let the offending group member know that you have shared your concerns with the professor. You can give them an opportunity to make up the work, but don't be too flexible. After all, you or other members of your group may end up having to complete this person's work. If the professor knows early in the process, you may get some flexibility on grading. And that's it. It's a lot of work for the leader, particularly at the beginning and the end of the process, but these steps have helped to make a more efficient process that results in a better group work product. Let me know what you think. Comments are always appreciated, and thanks for watching.